Welcome to Mental Architectures. Today's topic, controlling the frame. Now, controlling the frame, as I see it, is having the power over any interaction between you and someone else, or a number of people for that matter. So, recently we had a new colleague coming to work, as very strong, very smart, capable, confident. She was asking me about the work ethic in the company. She told me that she had heard mixed reviews about the company before coming on board. She had asked a number of people. Some said the best things about the company, others said the worst. And I just nodded. She was asking me specifically about Big Boss and that she had heard that he was a bit volatile, to say the least. I said yes, he was. She said okay, but she couldn't tolerate anyone insulting her and shouting at her, as if asking me, is that something he would do? I told her that that's gonna happen at some point. Then she paused and she didn't know how to respond. But I told her that she had some control over people who were verbally abusive. So I told her the story of that one time when the boss shouted at me and insulted me in front of everyone because I made an error, and that was because of a misunderstanding. So I controlled it, and then he just changed his attitude, and I only got respect from him from then on. She asked me how I did it. I said I controlled the frame. So here's how it worked. His frame was that he had a reason to be angry at me, and that I was to blame about something. Had I become aggressive too, I would have adopted that frame, effectively communicating to him that he was right to be angry. Had I submitted and cowered to him, would just tell him the same. That's even worse actually, because when you cower to someone who's abusive to you, you further validate them that they're on the right. Therefore, you're just giving them permission to be more angry. At least when you're being defensive and you shout back at them, they might have some self-doubt about their right to be angry. So anyway, back to the incident. Instead, I did none of those things. I just changed the frame, the narrative of the interaction. The narrative he wanted was that I messed up and that he had the right to be angry. My narrative would be that I took it as constructive feedback that would improve my work. So I smiled and said something along the lines of, I see, well, now I'm sure I can do a better job, and we can create something awesome soon with this project. I'm sure of it. Thank you for your feedback. I'm already learning a lot here. I remember when I said that, he was stunned and he didn't know how to respond. He wasn't expecting it. And since then, he steadily showed me more and more respect. So what happened there? Saying thank you to someone who's abusive to you gets them off balance, disrupts them, it shatters their frame. You give them something, even though they don't expect it. So it makes them wonder if they really have a real reason to be abusive to you. It makes them doubt themselves, but it also gives them the satisfaction they want from verbally abusing you, because that's kind of needy. They need it. But it also does it without you submitting or acknowledging the abuse. You just brush it off. By not taking their frame when someone's verbally and emotionally abusing you, you are subtly subcommunicating to them that it's just their opinion when they feel they have the right to be angry, and that others observing may have a different view. So that's how it works. Try to control the frame and try to push your narrative, your pacifying, controlled, grounded, and based narrative, rather than a volatile, angry, and emotional narrative. Because if you do adopt that narrative, you can only escalate and just validate them. So that's how it works. That's a short story about how to control the narrative. I hope it really helps. See you next time. Thank you for listening.